walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Hello, hello, hello. It's Thursday evening. It's 8:30 there or thereabouts, which can mean only one thing, ladies and gentlemen. You're all here, you're all ready, you're all waiting. It's time for round 5 of the Online Oval Racing National Hot Rods Championship. Now I'm going to have to apologise in advance if you can hear a barking dog in the background. But hello everyone and welcome to round number 5. We are at a virtual Cowdenbeath this week, and joining me in the commentary box, as it has been for the past couple of weeks, we have the one, the only. This is Sarah Austin. He is in, as also is Mr. Dom Brock. How are you this evening, both of you?
Good evening. Thank you for the Mrs. introduction. I don't think anyone has ever been brave enough to call me Mrs. But thank you. I hope you're well, Gab. We're all good here in very warm Suffolk, sitting here very hot under lots of computer screens.
Yeah, I took a decision to record my piece earlier for Speedway TV outside because I didn't fancy doing it in the conservatory. That would almost seem suicidal. But yeah, we're all here. It's been a busy week. We're a little bit late as always, but that is the nature of the beast. We're also busy, tied up with things. Yeah, looking forward to another night's racing at Bunny Cowdenbeath. Hopefully it'll be a good night of racing ahead.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. You have got a full night to enjoy Mr. Dom Brock's Scottish accent. It will be making an appearance many times throughout the evening, without a shadow of a doubt. So
myself.
Yeah, why not? So we are at, as Dom very rightly puts, we are at Cowdenbeath Race Wall, up in Bonnie, Scotland. Yeah. I'm not hugely au fait with the track. I don't know about you, Dom or Sarah.
I've actually been doing some Google research. I've never been. I've only been to Lochgelly up in Scotland. Central Park is the official name, and apparently it's right in the middle of town. It's also got the Cowdenbeath football pitch there, and there's a previous greyhound racing track as well, up until 1965. So it's nice to get some background on where we're visiting each week.
I know the football ground's definitely in the middle. You can't miss that. You'll see even in the virtual version that we're going to be racing on this evening. It is very much there and in the middle, and quite a major part that you can't miss. Whether or not a few of the cars are going to disappear off into the middle and start playing car football like an episode of Top Gear, we will have to wait and see. Dom, I was waiting for you to just finish off with some local knowledge on cuisine with your Scottish accent. Then
We won't do the cuisine, although very ironically, and not intentionally either. I was downstairs before the stream started, and I was contemplating what to have and bring upstairs before we go live. And there's some shortbread in the cupboard, and I nearly did, but I thought no, let's not go all out. But yeah, Cowdenbeath's a good track, mostly known for its stock car action, it must be said. That's where I know it from, watching Diggy Smith and all the rest up there. But yeah, hot rods, it'll be interesting to see what they're like here. The banking will obviously help them a lot, like Hednesford. But I've heard from some of the drivers this is a difficult place to pass as well, so it might be a little bit like Nuts Corner. Incidents might happen based on the tyres and the inside wall, so who knows what will happen.
It's going to be interesting to see, that is for sure. So the format that we are running tonight is going to be the same format that you guys have been accustomed to over the past several weeks. We have 6 heats that are running, and then we have the final B, which basically makes up all of the drivers that don't finish in the top 20. And you're racing for a place in the final A in the 21st spot. And I've completely lost track of what I was saying, because I could actually hear myself repeating in the background a bit then. Yeah, you're racing for the 21st grid slot in Final A, where the top 20 point scorers for the evening will find themselves. So, I think with what seems to be happening in server, it's probably about time that you guys take a little run through who we can expect to see in tonight's round 1 grid.
So, for the first heat of the evening, we have on pole Jamie-Stewart 188. making, I believe, his debut tonight. It's not one I'm familiar with. Then Jake D. Vellin, 21, another one without a skin. I think all the whites brand new to us this week, just looking down in this race at least. Oh dear. Whitren Noster 91. That's going to be a tongue twister in com. He's on the third place position. And then in fourth, we have Glenn Van Tonder 62.
Oh, you got all the good ones there, Dom, didn't you? Right, so your yellow grades for this heat one is a Greg Durrant, as we've mentioned before, son and nephew of some of the scrutineers and what have you in the National Hot Rod Real Life Series. He's in the 84 car, followed by Fawkes 46 alongside him. Luke Loveland 220, who's been a former guest of ours in the interviews. He's lining up behind Craig, and Johnny McCoy in the 148.
So with the blue graders, we've got Stuart 931 there. Then beside him, we've got Scotty 78, David Ryan 30, and then BDR 867 rounding out the blues.
And our reds tonight, so we've got Tim 89 is the leader of the red grades, then Aaron McGrath, who is now a CW 57 number, so we'll change his number there. We've then got QE Jason Q, regular in the National Hot Rod Real Life Series, and also we were the interview guest last week in the 174. And Jan Kilansky is now Kilansky 193. He was a superstar last week, but he's in the red grades, so didn't make as many points last week.
So with the superstar grade, at the front of that we have Sean Jacklin, Sean 11. Alongside him, Ricky Slater 102, another one of the main protagonists in the championship. Derek Martin 20, and then finally we have the points leader, Niall McFerrin 910, looking to extend that gap this evening, but hopefully he's got some fierce competition around him and it won't be, well, too much of a runaway.
So, there we go. The picture's finally popped up. You can see the guys just arranging themselves on the grid now into their relative orders. As we mentioned last week, we have that scrolling bar along the top where you can actually keep up to speed with the championship points. Now, these are the championship points up to the beginning of this evening. We haven't quite got around to the stage where they will update sort of during the event. Unfortunately, that's something that we are working on. A few movers and shakers, and one of the biggest things that I can see that we're going to have in tonight, and I've missed that as they've started.
Well, an interesting night, and off we go. It's obviously looking at the further back of the field, around the red graders here, and on board. And immediately, or I can see McFerrin coming up through the field and already making some moves. Oh, contact! That's QE gone on the inside.
Yeah, just spotted QE in there involved in that one, and somebody's gone right over by the looks of things, not recognising the car though.
That's Niall McFerrin. It's Niall McFerrin that we're riding on board with at the moment. He's already made his way up to 7th place within the first few laps.
Craig Durrant in that solitary Mini is out front, doing well for the Mini cause. McFerrin up to 6th, so he'll be happy with that. A very good start from him. Definitely far ahead of Derek Martin, who I think got caught up in some of the early incidents, but we'll have to wait and see if he can get through.
So we see Craig Durrant coming through there.
Sorry, Johnny McCoy and Scotty 78 have also been very early movers in this race.
Quite a good camera angle to actually be able to see the entire track as it runs through here. You can see Johnny McCoy in that yellow car and Scotty 78 in the blue and red behind him.
McFerrin getting ever closer as the laps go by, but good performance here from BDI 67. He's sticking with McFerrin. Another
Luke
car
Loveland on the infield there. And Scotty 78. Look, that's Niall McFerrin just sliding around the outside of him there. He's already hunting down the back of Johnny McCoy, who's in 3rd, with Stuart 931 in the white online oval race. And I apologise as well for anyone. We don't seem to have the car engine sound for this heat. That will be with us next time around. But yeah, where that all started a little bit suddenly, we missed that one. So we will have the engine sound back as Niall McFerrin is still scrapping with Johnny McCoy, just nudging up the inside there.
It's a
Derek
fair
Martin's
move.
slipped into the top 10 as well. So from very back of the grid, he's up there and with the best of them. McFerrin's now into third.
So
Darren, sorry, go on.
no. I was going to say we'll have a look. This is the view back from Craig Durrant's car, and that's Ricky Slater there. That's not someone that you would expect to be down the field, but Ricky's definitely not up at the fighting end of things, as you can see from the leaderboard. There's the
McFerrin made his way into second now, so the chase is on, but I don't think McFerrin's going to be able to catch Durrant. Slater going unlapping himself, getting back up the inside, but not really going to matter much in the long run.
Now we're on the final lap, so the chase is going to be on. Can McFerrin get the best of Durrant?
So here we go. Round. I don't think he's going to make it as we head down. There's the line as they finish the race for this evening. So, an eventful first race that we've had, and you get to see the whole layout of this track. We've got some quite good camera angles, which will give us a pretty good overview of what's happening on the whole track. Your results for round number 1. Craig Durrant takes the win, Noel McFerrin second, BDR 867, which is Tommy Daly in third, Johnny McCoy in fourth, Aaron McGrath in fifth, Derek Martin sixth, Sean Jacklin seventh, David Ryan eighth, Tim Close in ninth, and Glenn Van Tonder in 10th place, rounding out the top 10 as we watch a few little celebratory donuts there from our race winner, Craig Durrant.
Good to see Durrant winning. He's had a few difficulties over the last couple of weeks, and being the only Mini, he's got probably quite a different setup to everyone else's. I'm not sure whether the car's vary too much, but I know it will have a higher centre of gravity being a taller car. Good to see him on top and winning in his, I think that might have been his first heat win of the series so far. So well done to Craig.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah, definitely his first heat win. I was having a quick flick through because I thought I can't remember him winning any races. So yeah, as you say, nice to have a different racer up there at the sharp end of things. And let's see how the rest of his night goes.
Definitely it is good to see some different names, and we have had that actually. We have been quite lucky in this league so far in that we have had a few different people going through and picking up victories across the events that we've had so far. So here we go, the finalised results for that heat number 1, as we've got Craig Durrant in the 84 in first, Niall McFerrin second, Tommy Daly in third, Johnny McCoy fourth, Aaron McGrath in fifth, Derek Martin in sixth, Sean Jacklin seventh, David Ryan in eighth, Tim Close in ninth, and Glenn Van Tonder, as we said, rounding out the top 10 for round number 1. So, one of the big things that I have noticed looking at the people booked in and the grids for this week is a certain Mr. Willisey missing. Now, we're not talking about Cameron. Cameron is racing. But Lewis Willisey, I have noticed is a notable absence from racing this week. How do you think that's going to affect things at the top end of the championship this evening, guys?
Well, I think his brothers pretty much proved that there's nothing that won't go unnoticed with the family name. So obviously makes things livelier. New names have come in once again. Even we're at round 5 now. We've still got new names coming in. So sad to see someone leave us, but nice to see new drivers coming in.
Yeah, it might affect the points in the long run. He may drop out of the top amount. Whether he comes back or not, I don't know. But fingers crossed we do see him again. More top level drivers, the merrier. And yeah, fingers crossed it isn't the last time we've seen Lewis on the track.
So that's all in place. We're starting to get the guys sort out positions and everything for heat number 2 this evening. So I'll hand over to you guys once again, the capable team that you are, to take us through our grid for heat number 2.
Thank you very much. So, as Gav just mentioned, we're now on to Heat 2. So we've got Scott Minahan, Scotty 323 as our pole man for this second heat in the front of the whites. Charlie 294 will line up alongside him. followed by Jboy222, new name to us this evening. Ben Keneally, we've already seen the Keneally name out here in the previous week, so good to see Ben in the 210 rounds off your whites.
So for the yellows, just coming onto your screen now, we at the front of that pack we have Crasher Chrome, that is Tommy Chrome. Then we have Rapid Roy 36, Roy Anderson there. Alan Christie 959 at the third place position in the yellows, and then rounding out the yellow grades we have Jordan Vowinkle 122.
So our blue grades for this heat 2, we have Sean Cooney 921, followed by Ian Riordan 142. One of our South African drivers, Donovan Vorster 73, who I know I've got a big following out there, and Jordan Larson rounds off our blue grades in the 12 car.
So for the red grades, we have KC861, I believe, at the head of the field. Then we have Wayne Woolsey 950, Turner 447 takes the third place in the red grades, and then at the back we have Kian O'Sullivan 136 rounding out the reds.
And so the last group are superstars. Many names that we've seen in the past in this group, started by Carl Waller-Barrett 162, regular in the Real Life National Hot Rod circuit, and also been there or thereabouts throughout the last 4 rounds in the online version. So it'd be good to see what Carl can get this evening. Then we've got Cameron, as we've just mentioned, the Wallacey family, the only brother this week in the 143, followed by Daniel Erdl, who is a German driver in the 28 car, and last but not least is Michael Barber in 296.
So, it's whereabouts are we? Let's have a look. It's interesting to see some new names actually popping up in the Facebook chat. We also have some repeat offenders, if you will. Let's have a look. We definitely have the South African contingent out there. So hello to all of our supporters from South Africa, all wishing the likes of Donovan Vorster and co, our South African drivers, the best of luck in the races. Who else have we got? Let's have a look. Sandra Waller-Barrett is wishing Mr. Carl Waller-Barrett good luck, and Dorothy McGrath. Dorothy is near enough always in. I've noticed that she is in and very much in support of Aaron McGrath, who is out racing in the 57 car. And yeah, it's one of those names that I think I've pretty much seen week in, week out, which is obviously really nice to see.
Yeah, it's great to have the interaction with our followers. So who out of these guys has been to the real life Cowdenbeath? Be nice to see your favourite bits of the track or your dislikes of the track. Keep it nice though, obviously we're all a friendly bunch in the online and real life oval racing family. So it'd be nice to have some interaction. Keep it coming, guys, and we'll get through, and ladies and guys, we'll keep as many messages coming throughout the evening as we can.
Definitely. So let's see if I can try and sort out some audio this time. Would be a little bit nicer for us to actually hear some bits and pieces that's going on in the race.
I can hear some bits and pieces going on in the background. I think the admins are having an absolute nightmare trying to line these drivers up. So they're going around again to try and get the grid right again this time.
Will be an interesting one to see what happens here then.
We got, just putting it out there, have we got any favourites for this heat? We usually do favourites. I don't like cursing drivers with commentators curse, but Gav and Sarah, have you got any ideas who you fancy for this heat?
I am going to go with Cameron Willesey. He's going to be my pick. He's been pretty consistent in the results that we've seen him in so far. And moving up pretty rapidly up through the standings in the championship. when we looked last week, I think he was sat in 15th place. I believe he's up to 10th now in the championship overall. So, yeah, he's
And
definitely
we're
going
off
to be...
by the sounds of it, guys. Sorry to butt in. Looks like we're off.
Okay. Sarah might know something we don't. The pictures I'm looking at, the cars aren't going anywhere just yet.
That's right. I just heard the admins in my ears saying, and we're off. So, oh, there we go.
Now we're
There we
definitely
are.
off.
A few seconds behind.
So there we go. That's Donovan Vorster there in the 73 car that we're watching. So big shout out for all of the South African guys who'll be watching him as he dives up the inside of Ian Reardon, who looked to catch a tyre. And we've got a spinner already into turn 1 by the looks of things there.
I think that's the thing with this track. The drivers really do have to watch out for the inside tyres on all 4 of those corners. As you come in, the Armco protected by those tyres, if you hit it, you are going flying. And we've seen a fair few drivers do it already this evening.
We have indeed seen a few drivers already do it. Now well, okay, so the sound was playing up. Now we've got the timing screen playing up for heat number 2.
This is the joy of online racing, isn't it? We're totally at the mercy of servers that have nothing to do with us. We are reliant on those pictures coming to us.
Well, the bonus is you guys should hopefully, with your apps and that you've got going, still be able to let us know who is running up at the front of the field at the moment as we watch Yannick Kalansky in the 193 car, who seems to be making moves.
Yeah, we've got Ben Keneally as our leader ahead of Rapid Roy. Pretty much no difference between them. Just around a 1 second gap. Keeps sort of changing between 1 and 2 seconds at the minute, but there's not much in it at the moment.
So there's Cameron Willisey that we can see there. He's not done too bad for himself.
Yeah, we're already up to 3rd place. Oh, Carl Waller-Barrett's just claiming 3rd place, but it's all changed again. Cameron Willisey up to 2nd. Rapid Roy back up to 3rd.
And who was that? That was someone that we just saw spun out there. That's Donovan Vorster that was in the wall. And we'll get one of those static cameras in just a second just to give us an overview of what's happening on the entire track. Let's just have a quick look as we watch the action unfold. Now coming down the straight there's Ben Keneally in that green car. There's Cameron Willisey and Roy Anderson behind him. That's your top 3. As we see Alan Christie in that distinct red and black car coming around the bottom there. The leaders.
Ben Keneally may get caught up by this back marker. He keeps bouncing off the walls. Always managed to get through cleanly. Well done, guys.
Carl Waller-Barrett nicely up to 4th place. Guys, you'll have to let me know how many laps we've got under our belt so far already, with Ben Keneally still managing to hold on to the lead so far.
Yeah, the leaders will be coming around for the final lap next time round.
And look at that. Look at Cameron Willisey. Look at the gap that he's closed up. If he can get past that back marker, this is going to be a sprint to the finish for these guys. Let's see if we can catch up with them up here. There they are. There's Ben Keneally. There's Cameron Willisey. Look at that for the finish line. This is going to be so tight. It's ridiculous.
The last turn. Here they come.
Oh,
Willisey's going to snatch it. Oh, drama.
And that is about as tight as you can possibly get. Cameron Willisey was closing at a great rate of knots the entire race there. But that
0.3 the difference. So Willisey gets the win there, first win of the evening for him, and 0.3 difference to Ben Keneally in a 2nd place. What a great last couple of corners that was.
That was fantastic. It's a shame actually for Ben Keneally. Keneally was holding on nicely to the lead all the way through there and drove a very consistent race, but Cameron Willisey just absolutely flying through. And yeah, that's not going to do his championship standings any harm whatsoever as he tries on a fairly tight track to give us some victory donuts. So I hate to say I told you so, with it being with it being my pick that came out on top. But wow, what a start for Heat 2. That's the kind of racing that we've been getting used to seeing in the finals, but coming through in Heat 2 this evening, that was really quite a finish.
So I'll have to ask him about that later. He's our special guest between the heats and the finals this evening. I'm sure he'll be relishing the opportunity to speak about that one. Obviously a really good race from him, very well done. And well, maybe that's the start of things to come this evening.
Now, I'm going to leave the camera on this for a second, just for comedy value, so that you guys can see what it is that the admins have to deal with when we're trying to cut away the screens. I'll cut it away now so that people don't end up feeling ill. That there was a flying car that you saw, and that's the kind of issues that these guys are having to deal with at the back end and trying to get racing. I'm just going to have to cut to this a second. Oh no, it's gone. I literally, in the background while that was going on, I just watched a car launch up into the air like it was a rocket. That, I think, is the only possible way to describe what I just saw. So yeah, it's a huge thanks to obviously the admin guys who are having to sort out everything in the background. That is the issue that they're having to deal with when we're trying not to show off what's happening. That's definitely one that we can throw onto the blooper reels there. So
We've had a well done, Ben. Hard luck not to win, but great finish from Dorothy, our friend that we talked about earlier on, who's always a commenter on Facebook. So it's lovely to see the congratulations for everybody coming up on our Facebook and YouTube channels. Please keep commenting, guys. We really love it.
Yeah, definitely. But that was something really quite special. That result that we had there. So that's going to be pretty hard to beat for the rest of the evening. I'm sure the guys will no doubt go out of their way to try and do what they can for us. Right, I am going to go through the results for that final race, and then I'm going to try and make sure that we've actually got some sound for this last one. So, your winner by 0.3 seconds, Cameron Willisey. Fantastic race and a fantastic last lap between him and the second place man, Ben Keneally. Roy Anderson, a very respectable third, as Carl Waller-Barrett as well, coming all the way through from the back of the grid. Adam Turner in that 447 car, and Yannick Kalansky in 5th and 6th. Sean Cooney in 7th. Alan Christie in 8th. Wayne Wolsey also having a good race, getting up to 9th. And Sienna Sullivan finishing out the top 10 for our heat number 2. So I'm going to claim that. That's one for me this evening that I've managed to call. So no pressure, guys. But you've got to try and see if you can pick yourself someone decent for the next heat. And speaking of which, I think I should probably hand over to you guys to take everyone through who they can expect to see racing.
So for the third heat of the night. Just wait for the graphics to come up so that we've got all the cars on screen as well. For the first position, we have Dobsy 947. Then we've got Jason A0. Again, I think these are both two new drivers. Another great name here. I want to say I'll say Ewan because it's probably not the case, but Ewan Burke 12. And Nathan 435 rounding out the whites.
I love how you get all of these first time round on. So, the front of our yellow grades, we have Crofty 58, followed by Ashley Shaw in 32. A name I always get my teeth stuck around, as I have the previous 2 weeks, Snoopy MSNG 846, whose real name he's put on the sheet this week as Snoopy. So that was great. Then rounding off the yellows, we've got Chris Wilkes in Wilkes 111.
So for the blue grade, we have J Hammond 50, that is Johnny Hammond. Behind him, we've got first race of the night for Sean Jacklin 152. Then we have John Kirkland 844. And then rounding out the blue graders, we have Barry Casey 961.
So our Sean 152, sorry Dom, is actually Sean Taylor. We've had Sean Jacklin already, he's in the 11, but Sean Taylor's in the 152. Don't worry.
Yeah,
There's so many names to remember, isn't there? And with new drivers sort of leaving and joining each week, it does make our lives hard. Anyway, sorry for that. So our reds for this Heat 3, we've got Ronan O'Brien in a 715, followed by Potter 79. We've then got Dom Freeman in 61 and Farnborough man Chris Crane in the 15, who has also changed grades. He was a yellow grade last week and he's gone right back to the reds. He got some good points on his first podium finish last week. So he'll be right back there and buzzing to get through. Hopefully he'll have cracked on and settled into online racing a bit more than he had in previous weeks.
So for the superstar grades, at the front of that superstar pack, we have Ryan Woolsey 940, been putting in some good performances of late and has really proven his worth as a superstar. Then we have Adam Cochrane 434, followed by Simon 998, that is Simon Kennedy, and then rounding out the superstars this time round, we have Charlie Aylward 46. He's been performing very well of late as well, and has really warranted that place in the superstar grade.
So, I'll put the question back to you guys then. Who is your pick for this heat then?
I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Ronan O'Brien 715. Red grades, I think they've got a better chance tonight. There's been some difficulty in the mid pack. Hopefully, someone can cut through.
And it looks like
Yeah, we're off.
we are indeed. And we've actually got some sound this time as well.
So we've got a South African at the top, Jason Loosemore. He's actually been over to Vauxhall to race in the real life world final at Speed Weekend a couple of years ago. So it's lovely to see him having joined us this evening.
And that's Potter
Ashley
that they're
Shaw is
passing.
into second.
Yeah, it's Potter that all the guys are streaming past at the moment. Ashley Shaw with a very strong start. He's doing quite nicely for himself. I don't think he's been that high up on the in the standings so far in any races that we've done.
Ronan O'Brien, my pick, making some progress. He's up to 5th now, I think. Oh no, he keeps dropping around. I think we've got an issue with one of the timing screens. One of our admins, who helps us with the streaming, Tads, is appearing in 5th or 4th, but that's not right. Obviously, he's not racing today.
Sean Taylor on the outside there.
Oh, got a bit of chaos on the inside as well.
Crane was in that one, definitely in that one. Didn't see who the other car was, but Craney definitely in that one.
It was Chris Crane and Snoopy in that one.
Just looking at other gains, we've got Ryan Woolsey and Charlie Elwood both breaking into the top 10. They're looking very fast tonight.
Barry Casey's come from the back of the Blues as well, and he's sitting in 3rd. So some good early runs from these guys. And Ashley Shaw has actually got into the lead now, so Loosemore having lost the lead.
I was just about to say, I said he was having a good race and that we hadn't seen him at the top that much. I mean, he's going to have to deal with a bit of an issue in that corner there, which lets Loosemore back through, who then spins.
And it's all gone awry on the corners of Cowdenbeath.
Potter gets caught out there. Ryan Woolsey. Chris Crane's up the inside there. It's all getting a little bit argy-bargy right now.
Sure, the admins and the stewards will have something to say about this. There's more contact as we go through the corners. Loosemore getting bounced from pillar to post.
Sean Taylor about to be overtaken there, so he just needs to watch his back with the faster cars going through.
So, the standings as we have them so far on lap 11. Ashley Shaw, the man that we are watching right now, is in 1st. Barry Casey, in this 961 car, is having a fantastic battle with Adam Cochrane for 2nd place. So, Adam Cochrane in the blue, or the Union Jack car is probably the best way to describe it, as you can see Barry trying to get round and past some of the back markers. Look at the gains that they're making through the back markers, some of these guys. Adam Cochrane in particular there, closed right up on the back of Barry Casey there.
And Johnny Hammond is now up to 4th. One of the Woolsey family, one of the Woolsey grandsons, is now up to 4th. With another member of his family now to 5th. So the Woolsey family are making great headway now, coming towards the closing stages.
Literally, Ashley Shaw should be coming round for the final lap there.
Well, no, the checkered flag, sorry, just to interrupt. I think Ashley Shaw has won it. For a moment there, the timing screens jumped and Barry Casey was showing in the lead, but he has managed to pull 2nd. Adam Cochrane appears to be 3rd, Johnny Hammond in 4th, and Ryan Woolsey is going to take 5th. Loosemore managing to take home 6th as well, so that's a commendable result for him, who had a lot of issues in the middle part of that race, I think unintentionally being taken out a few times.
First meeting out as well, he's not done bad for himself there at all. Charlie Elwood's one who I would have expected on recent form to finish a little bit higher up, as we watch Ashley Shaw pulling some victory donuts down here in the corner at the end. So we'll have to wait for the results to come through from that one without Tads on them, because as you can see at the moment, that is currently saying, as Dom very very astutely pointed out, that is showing Tads, who's one of the admins in 4th place, and I can assure you, here we go, more flying cars. Let's cut to a
I
difference.
agree with Michelle Loosemore on Facebook, who is obviously a follower of Jason Loosemore, I presume a family member. That was hectic. I think that's a great description. And Aaron Bonnet, is this Nationals or the Banger World Final? Yeah, that was certainly looked a bit more like Banners than Nationals, didn't it, guys? Loving your interaction as always.
I can imagine there will probably be a few words spoken to a few drivers in that race as to some of the etiquette that was going on. It's something we've been quite lucky with so far, I must admit. A lot of the slower drivers and the newer drivers coming in have been very respectful of the guys who've been racing, since day one of this league running, and have, for the most part, moved out of the way so that the racing can carry on. But today, with some of the newer drivers, and I'm not going to pin the blame squarely on there. We've got some established names who are right up in the thick of that. But it was definitely a very scrappy race, which, the accidents definitely had an effect on the outcome there. Just waiting on the results to come through from the admin team.
Just a little bit of a shame that chaos. It's possible, probably has ruined some people's first race of the evening. I mean, every point matters, and you have to bear in mind that there's, I think, booking list is around 60. Top 20 going to the A final, the second 20 then going to the B final, and then there is another 20 who don't get to race in either. That is if they haven't qualified, and if they're, if they don't qualify, then they aren't going to get any more points throughout the night at all. So it's going to be difficult, and there'll be a few frustrated drivers out there, I'm sure.
It could be, though, that incidents like that give us an interesting B final like we had last week. Last week we had, and it was really quite an interesting one, we had a lot of the top tier guys you would expect to see getting straight through into the A final were scrapping for that 21st spot in the B final, and that really made for...
Yeah, Derek Martin was in the B final last week, which was a massive shock to us all, although he was, of course, the race winner of that, which put him in the 21st and last place on the grid for the A final. But just to clarify, something that somebody questioned last week, whether the guys get points for the B final, and I'm jumping ahead a bit for this evening. The B final points are held, so they are not included, because obviously if Derek Martin had gained points for the B final and gone through and gained points for the A final, he would have been sort of a double gainer in that. So just to clarify, something we weren't sure of last week, but we've clarified this week, there are no points awarded for the B final.
There we go.
I was going to say, I think that was me that caused the confusion last week saying that one. Looking back on it, it didn't make any logical sense. But if you've got the heats to get your main points and no points for the B final, and then points again for the A final for those who have performed best throughout the night.
So the confirmed results which came through from the hectic heat, I think is probably going to be the best way to describe that, as the guys in Facebook, what was that? It was Michelle Loosemore said, I think, best way to describe that one. Ashley Shaw taking a very well-deserved victory. He got out in front and stayed there. Barry Casey in second, Adam Cochran in third. Johnny Hammond picking up fourth and Ryan Wolsey fifth. Jason Loosemore in sixth, Charlie Elwood seventh, Barry Casey showing again in eighth, so that wasn't right. Michael Barber and Ewan Burke. So we've just got to work out who that was that actually finished in eighth instead of Barry Casey. It was Tads, wasn't it?
He's secretly been racing again. We tell him off, but
He did actually. I must admit, Tads did actually start racing in this series, and then with some of the issues that you have with R Factor and everything, decided to step aside from actually racing in the series just to help out on the admin side, and that extra pair of eyes that he provides with Jay in race control being valuable, especially for a race with as many bumps and shunts as we just had there. So. Let's go for the grids on the next heat, guys.
Ooh,
Okay, that leaves me for Heat 4 for the first riders. I've been told off for saying riders. I spent many years reporting on World and British Superbikes and MotoGP. So, for whatever you hear me say riders, of course, these are drivers. So, we have one of our foreigners, Martin Muntjes, I'm hoping, showing up as White Trinoster. I know that Tom get his teeth caught around this one in Heat 1. White Trinoster 91, but he's also showing for us as Martin Muntjes 999. Anyway, he's followed by another new driver, Glenn Van Tonda 62. So welcome to you guys to our grid. Followed up by Scott Meanhan 323, and Charlie 294, rounding off the white grades.
So, for the yellow graders in this fourth heat, at the front of the pack, we have Loveland 220, that's Luke Loveland. Then we have Johnny McCoy 148, Crasher Chrome 66, and then rounding out, we have Rapid Roy 36, who'll be on a high after that third place from Heat 2.
So our blue graders for Heat 4 is David Ryan 30, followed by BDR 867, who's already done quite a convincing first race. He was third earlier on in Heat 1. And Sean Cooney 921 is behind him, with Ian Riordan in the 142 car.
At the front of the red graders, we've got Jason Q, QE174, then behind him Yannick Kalansky in his car, then we've got Casey861 following him, and then Wayne Woolsey 950 rounding out the reds.
So our B final winner last week, Derek Martin, is the first two superstars for Heat 4, followed by Niall McFerrin 910. That is going to be a great race again. These two have proven their worth already in this championship. And then other top 10 regulars, Carl Waller-Barrett in the 162, and Cameron Willisey in the final group spot for Heat 4. Of course, he was first in Heat 2. Let's see whether he can get all the way from the very back of the grid to the front. We will have to see.
Right, I'm going to bring up the volume a little bit earlier so that hopefully it's a little bit less frantic as we hear the guys revving their engines ready for the start of this heat. We're watching Derek Martin and Niall McFerrin in the centre of the screen there. You can see two of our superstars. This is going to be a close race between these two without a shadow of a doubt. And also keep an eye on that blue car behind them of Cameron Willisey. Guys, have you got time for a quick shout and who you think we should watch out for a victory here?
You've always got to watch McFerrin, haven't you? He's proved his worth time and time again. Obviously, our points leader already got a second from the very back of the grid. So obviously, he's a couple of places forward on this one. Can he get it all the way to the front? Just to say, the admins are having a few issues lining these guys up, so that's what's taking a few more minutes.
Let's find out. It's Chris Wilkes that we just saw from the back, moving himself into position as we get underway. And keep an eye on those superstars. Derek Martin, Niall McFerrin's going around the outside of them into the first corners as they get underway.
Good start from Charlie 294. He's pulled out a little bit of a gap already. Again, not sure whether the timings are right, but I believe.
Oh,
I think they might correct.
more incidents. Huey's gone round the wrong way. Yannick Kalansky's round the wrong way. We've got a few cars definitely having issues. That looks like Ian Reardon that's in the wall as well, who seems to have been bouncing around it the whole way around the track. So I think he may be having internet problems.
Derek Martin has stayed out of trouble this time, and he is ahead of McFerrin. McFerrin's not actually managed to keep entirely clean in this race. There are several cars between him and Martin. You'd have thought they'd have moved up together, but it's chaos once again on the raceway.
Definitely. Wayne Woolsey I saw off on the infield for a second there as we watch. That's David Ryan there, who's scrapping with Derek Martin. David Ryan, quite an accomplished driver. They've managed to keep that pretty clean between them.
That is exciting stuff. Oh.
I say that pretty clean as Derek Martin's definitely getting battered about by whoever that is in one of the white grade cars there.
Looks like we lost Carl Waller-Barrett into the middle there. I just saw him sideways sitting on the infield.
So Derek Martin, that's now moved him up to 6th place. Tommy Daly out in front.
We've got a National Hot Rod graveyard by the looks of things. There's cars strewn everywhere, and I think there might be a tyre on the track.
QE certainly one of the retirements as well, but as I say this, BDR 867 is out the front and as leading by, well, I was going to say leading by a little way. As we look at that, the timings keep changing. I think it's around a 1.2 second gap to Rapid Roy, who is being really consistent tonight. He is really on it, and certainly now in the podium positions once again.
More contact and everything. That's Carl Waller-Barrett in the middle of that. There's Rapid Roy. Carl Waller-Barrett's got going again. There's Cameron Willesey. Derek Martin.
He's been caught up.
Yeah, he's certainly not going to get a podium in this one, is he? But Niall McFerrin is now broken through into the top 10 and is up to 9th already.
Lap
7 of Tommy Daly is still doing very well. Rapid Roy staying close. Not
And we
much
had
to go.
spotted Cameron Willesey is up to 4th, so the man from the very back of the grid. He's already had a win this evening. He's now up to 4th.
It's literally whoever can keep themselves out of difficulty so far this evening, especially with some of the newer guys and that are in it racing. The more established guys seem to be, for the most part, keeping it facing the right way on the track, but the rest of the heats will have to tell us. That looked like Johnny Hammond who was spinning in for the rejoin.
Tommy Daly takes the win. Rapid Roy is going to take 2nd. Cameron Willesey is going to take 3rd after all that. So great second race for him this evening. McFerrin only managing 6th. And Derek Martin, although we saw him facing the wrong way, has ended up 5th. So it really was such a chaotic race. Someone could spin on the inside and then retake 5th.
David Ryan in that yellow Corsa also having a pretty good race there, finishing in 4th.
Subject to confirmation, I'd have to say, on this one, because it was pretty chaotic, and yeah, there will be definitely some drivers once again who are rather upset with the way that race went.
Definitely hectic, chaotic. That, I think, are probably 2 words which quite aptly describe the past couple of rounds that we've had racing here. It's yeah, I don't know why. It's not as, when you think how close racing we've had on some of the narrower tracks, definitely been an interesting one. It being quite so all over the place. I can't put my finger on why. I don't know, Dom. Any ideas?
Oh, like I said earlier, this is a track where you've got an inside wall as well, to a certain degree, on those corners. If you try to cut as much of that inside grass as possible to get the most optimal line, you're running more and more of a risk of hitting that very flat and Armco wall, and if you hit that and clip it in any way, it will send your car spearing off in all kinds of different directions. If you're lucky, you'll spin. If you're unlucky, you'll be speared up into the outside wall and could lose a wheel. So there's so much risk around this track. It is one of the faster ones as well. It's a bit more like Hednesford in the fact that it is big and bold, but it's proving to be a lot more difficult than I think some people have expected.
There's a couple of guys who seem to be having some issues with their internet tonight. Ian Riordan is one, and Jordan Vovinkel has just suggested maybe coronavirus has hit his Wi-Fi this evening. So very on subject at the moment.
I mean, it's quite impressive when you look sometimes. Ian Reardon rather, I could definitely tell was having issues. I saw him running around the wall at some point, so he was definitely having internet issues. Jordan Vovinkel, when you think down in South Africa, that could just be the internet full stop. He's doing pretty well to have a reliable internet connection to us up in this neck of the woods. And one thing is, you'll often hear in online events like this people talking about ping, which is basically how long it takes for someone's internet and that to react to the server that they're trying to connect to. So that will cause potentially issues the further away you are. So considering the distance that the information's having to travel for him down in South Africa, I don't think he's probably doing too bad.
Just spotted a comment from Sandra Waller Barrett, who is Carl's mum. Not great racing tonight. No, well, these guys are all eager. You know what happens when the so-called internet helmets go on, that the red mist comes down. So maybe there's a little bit of that that's come through this evening. As we just discussed, this is a wider track. It's making the guys a bit excitable tonight, isn't it?
I'm interested to see what happens when we get through to the final B and see what happens there. So let's just quickly recap on the results of that last heat. We've got Tommy Daly and that green BDR 867 car taking first place. Rapid Roy with a very consistent driver, as Dom mentioned. He's doing very well for himself, and I think this is his second time out, or second event out with us. Cameron Willisey making his way from the back, doing very well. David Ryan in fourth, Derek Martin in fifth, Jack Wilkes in sixth, Wayne Wolsey in seventh, Scott Minahan in eighth, Charlie 294 in ninth, and Luke Loveland in his 220 Mercedes painted car, rounding out the top 10. So, let's go for another set of grids, shall we?
Ooh, just give me 2 secs on that one, Gav. Just writing down some results so that I can refer to them later. Alright, so, as we move on to the 5th heat of the night. They're going quick. So, on the pole, we have Ewan Burke 12, followed up by Nathan 435. Then we have Jamie Stewart 188, and then rounding out the whites, Jake D. Vellon 21.
So the yellow grades is Snoopy MSNG 846 is your first yellow grade for heat 5, followed by Chris Wilkes 111, who appeared to miss his previous heat, so hopefully he can get out for this one. Then we have your first race winner, Craig Durrant 84, and Forks 46, back of the yellows.
With the blue graders at the front of that pack, we've got John Kirkland 844, followed up by Barry Casey 961, who had a real positive start to the last race. Then we've got Stuart 931, and then to round out the blue graders, Scotty 78. That is Scott Kendall.
So Dom Freeman is the first of our red grades for heat 5 in the 61 car, followed by Chris Crane, who is in the well-spotted green car, had a few issues on his last run out. Then Tim 89 and Aaron McGrath CW 57. Still getting confused by this new number for Aaron, but obviously showing off his colours from north of the border.
So for the superstars at the front, we've got Simon 998. That's Simon Kennedy. Behind him, we have Charlie Aylwood 46. Then we have Sean Jacklin, definitely Jacklin this time. And rounding out to the superstars, we have Ricky Slater 102, hoping for a better time on this occasion.
So, the guys are still making their way around and lining up. Who are your picks for this heat then, guys?
This is a difficult one. There's a few good drivers here, and there's several who have had a good first heat under their belt. I'm going to go with Barry Casey, nice and simple on this one. I think he had a good time at the first heat and will perform well again.
Yeah, Barry Casey's had a second already, hasn't he? I'm just spotting that. But Craig Durrant, let's see if we can do another good performance. First in the opening heat of the evening. Not going to put the commentator's curse on, but I'll say a top 3 for him.
So we're riding on board with Craig Durrant in that Mini. You can see Chris Wilkes and Peter McWright, Mr. Snoopy himself, in the red and white car ahead of us. Then you can just about make out the that looks like Scotty Minahan in the white grades, as we see 2 other white grade cars. They're definitely cars, moving past and taking their positions any minute now.
They've actually joined up pixels, if you want to be that that au fait.
So here we go. The guys are all getting ready. You can hear some of the revs climbing. One of the white graders is still definitely not facing down the track like they would want to be heading off the start of this race. Let's see how that goes as we get underway. Craig Durrant definitely giving it all the revs in his Mini. You can hear everyone else joining in now. And away we go.
Good start from Durham by the looks of things. Oh, and I say that.
And that was the commentator's curse right there. It was that car that had gotten... I'll have to find out who that was. There was definitely a car, the back of the white graders, who'd lined up, and he was still pointing outwards on the track. That looks like Matt Falk that was on his side there. Simon Kennedy.
Craney, John Kirkland, all involved in that one, weren't they?
So it looks like the white graders have managed, or 3 of the white graders have managed to get themselves away relatively scot-free. Ewan Burke and Snoopy's actually done quite well for himself. Peter McWright in that white and red car getting up to second already.
I daren't speak anymore, but it has to be said the superstars have managed to cut through that incident by the looks of things. Charlie Aylward, starting from the back, is in 5th. Slater is in 6th. Sean Jacklin is in 7th. They have made very quick progress indeed.
They have indeed, and you can see as they've passed this man that we're looking at here, Chris Wilkes, who's down in 8th. Tim Close down in 10th isn't having quite as good a result as he has been in weeks previous.
He's been one of the more consistent ones, and just a little bit of difficulty here this evening. He didn't really stand out in his first heat. I reckon he'll hope to make the B final.
Chris Crane has another incident where he goes round. He will not be enjoying this week.
Well, we'll have to find out whether the stewards want to say anything about Jacqueline's involvement in that one, but I think it was, well, Crane was certainly sliding before Jacqueline made contact.
So
I think Ewan Burke will be happy with his second run out in first position here, although the gap is very small. It's less than half a second to Snoopy.
Definitely, and you can see you've got the likes of Dom Freeman, Ricky Slater and Charlie Aylward, who are all moving through the pack. That 844 car, I've got to try and remember who that is, but that 844 car is still having internet issues. I remember that being a car that we saw disappearing off into the crowd last week, although it seems to be behaving itself a little bit better this time round as we come round on lap 12.
Yeah, that's John Kirkland, who's in the Billy Bonner colours.
So look at this for this gap here. You've got Peter McWright. Snoopy goes round, takes Dom Freeman with him. Ricky Slater's going to take advantage of that, as is Charlie Aylward. Ricky Slater up to second. Stuart in that 931 car splitting them. Let's see if Charlie Aylward can get past him. That is a big shame. That
Slater's up to second. He's up to second and he is on the bounce. So will he manage to get past Ewan Burke?
Charlie Aylward's also going to take advantage of that there. There are cars slowing down and stopping all over the place. It really doesn't help compared to the events that we've had recently. There's no runoff on the inside for these guys to just get out the way. You can see Chris Wilkes there.
The racers are having a big warning from the admins here, you know, not to ruin other people's races. You may get caught up in your own incidents, but clear out the way. You're going to ruin guys' races as another one goes around.
But that's that race finished with Ewan Burke taking first place. That's got to be a result he's very happy with. Ricky Slater and Charlie Aylward second and third.
Only now coming round, it has to be said. It's a pretty big gap that Burke managed to pull, but then again Slater he had cars left, right, centre all surrounding him, so a bit of a strange one there. Yeah, the chaos all around the circuit, and I think, admins and stewards will have to take a look at that one again and see where some of the drivers went wrong.
I can see there possibly being a little bit of a bigger gap between the finish of this race and the beginning of the next one, as the admins probably have a word with people and just try and get everyone to calm it down a little bit. And it's difficult for them because, I mean, you can see all of those tyres on the infield, just like in real life. They are solid objects that the guys can't pass through. If there was the ability for them to head off onto the infield, I think the accidents would be, or they definitely wouldn't be claiming half as many people. Dorothy has come in with a little bit of information for you, Sarah, on Aaron's number. He uses CW57 as it's his Junior Saloon Autograss race number. And
Oh, thank you, Dorothy. That's great. We always love the background information, as we said earlier. I was just refreshing my YouTube as I haven't seen many people commenting on there this evening.
yeah, so apparently the CW is from Carlo Autograss Club, and 57 is his favourite number. So he says, stupid info, but thought you'd like to know. No, definitely, Dorothy. As much information like that it's always good for us to
Yep. No
have.
information is stupid info. You know, we take as much as we can. We get to know as much as we can about these guys, and we rely on them telling us. But that was not something we'd been told. So thanks ever so much, Dorothy, for that one. We appreciate your support and all the extra information you give us each week.
Definitely. So this is going to be an event that is going to be remembered, perhaps not for all the best reasons. I must admit, with some of the races that we've had so far, although I still think my favourite moment of the evening has to be that Heat 2 finish. Yeah, 0.3 seconds in it, and yeah, let's hope for some more racing like that rather than some of the ones that have been affected by spinners and crashes and alike. So we'll have another quick recap of the result from Heat 5. We've got Ewan Burke in first place, managed to get out in front and avoid trouble. It all seemed to happen behind him, and managed to come home to a very commanding victory, followed by Ricky Slater and Charlie Elwood, both who were making their way through the pack. They had a little bit of luck go their way in gaining some of those positions, but both did exceptionally well to work their way forward from the superstar grade at the back. Sean Jacklin also with a strong finish in fourth. Dom Freeman, I was absolutely gutted for Dom. That would have been his highest finish that we would have seen so far if he'd have come round in that second place he was on for. Simon Kennedy in
I think he'll
sixth.
still be chuffed with that one, however, do you not?
Oh, definitely. He'll definitely be happy with it. I was just hoping to see him on the podium. It's just because I'm a fan of that paint scheme. That's all that is. Simon Kennedy in sixth. Stuart 931 in seventh. Craig Durrant in eighth. Not as strong a finish. Unfortunately, he got caught up on that tyre, which put him back. Scotty 78 in ninth. And Tim Close rounding out your top 10 for heat number 5. Yeah, another hectic one. We've still got one more heat to go, so we're going to be going into the final heat of the evening, which is going to be heat number 6. I'll let you guys introduce our riders. Oh, I mean drivers. Sorry, Sarah.
You knew I was coming at first there, so just going to wait for the grid to start rolling. Are you ready for us, Gav?
Oh, I'll think about it. Let's get the grid rolling, shall we?
Yeah,
That's
that'd be
payback there.
handy. Yeah, yeah.
Payback.
So here come the riders for the final heat. J-Boy 222 is your pole man for this one. And then Ben Keneally lines up alongside him in that green and black livery in the 210. And Dobsy 947, followed by Jason SA, so another South African there in so-called zero car, it says.
So for the yellow graders, we've got Alan Christie on the front. He had a good consistent first race, staying out of trouble. Then we've got Jordan Vowinkle, another of the South Africans, so 2 in this one alongside Jason Loosemore. Crofty 58 in the 6th position, sorry. No, 7th, my apologies. And then rounding out the yellows, we have Ashley Law 32.
So your blue grades, we have more South Africans coming up. So Donovan Vorster in the 73, followed by Jordan Larson in the 12 car. One from the Wolsey Pazook I've always mentioned, Johnny Hammond in the 50, and Sean Taylor, Suffolk man, a regular national hot rod racer in 152. And you'll recognise his livery, which he appears in real life as well.
So for the red graders, we've got Ronan O'Brien 715, followed up by Potter 79. Behind him, we've got Turner 447, and then rounding out the reds, Kean O'Sullivan 136.
So your superstars for this final heat 6 is Daniel Erdl in the 28, followed by Michael Barber, a former Rebel racer, Michael Barber 296. We then have Ryan Woolsey 940, and last but not least, Adam Cochrane in your 4-3-4, who gained a third earlier on this evening in Heat 3.
So, it's been a bit of a difficult one to call so far this evening. All of the people that you might have thought would do well are then at the mercy of what happens ahead of them. Guys, any thoughts on who the movers and shakers are going to be this time round?
Well, I have to say, there's 4 of them, so there are 4 South Africans. If they can do some team working, that would be great. Jason Loosemore's had a good start, and Jordan Larson showed how good he was last week. So let's see, see the South African love we're getting off social media. Let's see it reflect on the track, and let's see one of those win.
Adam Cochrane had wins last week and is done really good already tonight. So be interesting to see him come from the very back of the grid. The admins are just calling them ready to go.
And off we go. We're riding on board. This one's for you, Dorothy. We're riding on board with Aaron McGrath. Look at that. You get kind of an idea now as you ride on board just how quick things are happening on this track, and just how people spinning out can make such a huge difference to and how little time these guys are going to have to react to what's happening in front. Speaking of which, there is a car in the wall on the outside there.
Getting a wiggle on, but it's so scary when you're bolting to the front here. You see the slightest wiggle and you think, oh my goodness, we're going round. But no, he manages to save it.
There's Adam Cochrane already in that Union Jack car, making a move up the inside of Aaron McGrath. That was your shout there, Sarah, and he's definitely moving already.
Yeah, he's proven time and time again. He's a pretty solid racer and has had some good podiums already in this series. Ben Keneally is now got a 1.5 second lead, so doing really well. Now up to 2 seconds.
And he's been actually very commanding. Once he's got out in front, he's done very well at keeping himself out of trouble. So he definitely is going to be a difficult one to catch, no matter how well the superstars do at carving their way through the field.
Yeah, Jason Loosemore is jumping around. He's sort of going 3rd to 4th, so Alan Christie's definitely put some heat on, and Jason, the South African.
So we're riding on board, and that's Donovan Vorster that just got spun round there. He's managed to get himself back going again, but that's going to have definitely knocked him down position-wise. We were just riding on board with him as he got spun round there.
Yeah, all the way back.
Sorry, I was going to say Ashley Shaw appears to be challenging Keneally for the front because just looking at those timings, Shaw, the Heat 3 winner, has now closed up dramatically, and I think he'll be looking to take the race win, possibly his second of the night.
And let's just have a look as we tab through all of the drivers here. There's some more people getting into each other. That's another new white grade driver that's getting caught up there. Alan Christie. We'll head to
Yeah, there's just so many cars got caught up on that corner. I think there was at least 4 that went to the inside, just couldn't get out the way in time of that incident.
So here
of course,
is
this
Ashley
is a 25 lapper as well, so the leaders are now coming around on the back markers.
This is Heat 6, isn't it, Sarah? It's still only a 15.
Oh, yes, sorry. Ignore me. I'm hot and bothered.
So,
No score in the meantime.
Lap
Sorry,
14, this is going to be interesting. This is Ashley Shaw, and that is Ben Keneally in that green and black 210 car. Final lap. Let's watch these two guys and see whether or not Ashley Shaw, who's making a little look up the inside, I don't think he's going to have the run to do it in this last corner.
Oh, lovely and neat line there from Keneally. He's not giving anything away. Well, a very good win for him. Not Ashley Shaw in that way. Jason, so the South African contingent do have something to celebrate, and Larson in 4th as well, another South African.
Yeah, there's definitely some issues whenever cars are hitting the wall this evening, even as they come over having finished. And
yeah, a lot of drivers complaining, is this banger racing or hot rod racing? I don't think the guys are too happy this evening with some of the standards of the driving.
I'm guessing by the looks of things there, maybe Adam Cochrane had a bit of an issue with Michael Barber there. Those two were nudging after the race was finished. We'll have to see what happens. We can't really speculate without hearing what's happening from the guys, but it's definitely been a very physical. Should we say physical? It's been a physical event this evening.
The boxing gloves are certainly on, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. So we
Yeah.
can get the confirmed results from this heat. Let's hop over and do that while the cars no doubt do their spaceship thing in the background. Ben Keneally out in front, managing to stay there, and that has been. It was last week a bit of a theme that we noticed. Guys getting out in front and staying there. Ashley Shaw in second, Jordan Larson third, Adam Cochrane managing to pick up fourth, and Michael Barber in fifth. Ryan Wolsey picking up sixth. Jordan Vowinkle doing nicely for the South Africans in seventh, as with Donovan Vorster, who did very well, bearing in mind he got spun there. Aaron McGrath finishing in ninth with his grass autocross number there, and Tim Close in 10th for Heat 6. So that is the results for Heat 6. And
I would just to interject there, Gav. Jason Loosemore missing from that one. I thought he came across the line in third.
He came across in
with Larson
third.
Fourth.
Hang on a minute.
So maybe I say we might have a car missing out of that.
No,
but...
I've just had a corrected results come through from the admin. So here we go. This is as it actually is. Ben Keneally in first, Ashley Shaw second, Jason Loosemore, as you very correctly mentioned there, Dom in third, Jordan Larson in fourth, Adam Cochrane fifth, Michael Barber sixth, Ryan Wolsey in seventh, Jordan Vowinkle in eighth, Donovan Vorster in ninth, and Aaron McGrath in 10th. So that rounds out the heats for this evening. So the admins now are going to be doing their very best to calculate all of the points for the guys going forward into the B final. And I think it's time for that time in the broadcast where we just hand over to you, Mr. Dom.
Well, thank you very much, Gav. So, for our driver interview this week, I did briefly mention it earlier, we have the one and only Cameron Willisey.
Hello.
Hello, Cameron. Good to have you on the show, and good to have someone who races up in Scotland on the broadcast with us for this time.
Yeah.
First question before Dom gets into anything else. Have you heard Dom's Scottish accent, and how do you rate it?
I've not heard it, no. But
let's not bother with that one. I'm not going to have this interview torpedoed, Gav. Let's just stick with that for now. Right. So, Cameron, good to speak with you. We had a brief conversation during the week, basically just going through all the bits and bobs. Obviously, you're more of an online racer. You do race in real life, and you have got your 2-litre hot rods. For those of you listening and watching who don't know, Cameron does race up in Scotland. Can you tell us a little bit about your racing career and how you started out and where you're looking to set your sights at?
Well, I started when I was about 6 in go-karts at Lark Hall. I used to go round by myself in a little Bambino Cadet, and then moved on to Ninja Karts when I was 10, I think, in 2013, when Lochgelly started them up. Done them for about 6 months, and then had a shot in a mini stock, I think 2015, but I don't really like contact myself, so got out of them quite quickly, and then junior production started in Scotland. New formula, non-contact, so we decided to buy a car from Northern Ireland and race that, and we started the formula really from the get-go, and started off quite well, winning the first Scottish Championship that was held for them, and the national points, and then the next year we decided to build our own car, and then won the Scottish again and the points. So, and now I'm into a 2-litre hot rod, which I've done 5 meetings in. So yeah.
So yeah, you're obviously making swift progress. For those again who are watching junior productions, I would say they're the closest class that they're like or similar to is rookie rods, stock rods. Am I right there?
Yeah, I think they're like junior rods down in England.
All right,
Not
so
sure.
yeah, still sort of front wheel drive, Corsa A's, Corsa B's, Novas,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, you've obviously got that going on in the real life. You like your racing, you like your 2 litre hot rod. Just looking at your driver profile, you like wet meetings as well. Can you just briefly touch on that one?
The one meeting we've done this year, it was very wet, and I managed to get my first race win on it, so quite enjoy it in the 2 litre.
Okay, so and I mentioned your basically your main success has actually come on the online scene as well. You've been racing online since 2017, winning a few titles with other promotions along the way in National Hot Rods, Formula 2 stock cars, and 2 litre saloons. And well, again, the list goes on. You've got so many titles under your belt. What is well, you've joined us midway through, along with Lewis. Well, what attracted you to this league, and what are you having a lot of fun out of this so far?
Yeah, it was mainly because it's National Hot Rods. It's my favourite formula on the game because it can produce some good racing when you're racing with Niall and things constantly. So, and with
So
it
you
being live as well, you can bring it to an audience.
Yeah, that is cool. I must be said, you definitely look as if you're enjoying yourself this evening. That win that you had in the second heat was simply sublime coming around the last corner. It has to say, all of us in the commentary box, tensions were, and the tones of voices raised. We were all very surprised that you managed to get through, and it was a really, really good race win. It has to be said. I reckon. Well, I reckon you're through to the A final. Just looking at my results, what do you think your chances are here tonight?
It'll all depend on the back markers, really. I think. I mean, it's hard to pass as well. So, if the people in front of me can block me, then I maybe not get through. But I'll try for the win for sure.
Again, this is something that we touched on during the week. I thought that Nuts Corner was a difficult place for overtaking, but you said to me that here will be just as bad. And I didn't understand you at first, but having watched the races this evening, I understand completely where you're coming from. Is this well? I'll just put it out there as someone who's raced in the online Novel community for quite a while. Is this one of your favourite tracks, or is this just one that you're looking to tick off the calendar as we move along? Is there any others that you're sort of looking forward to?
Cowdenbeath is one of the hated tracks, I think, on this game. It never really brings luck to people, no matter what formula you're in, really. So, I think the best formula for it is 1300s because you can just ride the wall.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier on the stream, this is very much a sort of stock car venue. Of the tracks we've still got coming, Northampton, Skeg, possibly Arena. I think there is talks of maybe switching that out for Wimbledon. We'll have to wait and see. Aldershot and Buxton. Are there any of those that you're really looking forward to?
Probably Northampton. It's one of the cleaner tracks. There's no tyres or anything to hit. So.
That one, of course, coming next week. And yeah, before we send you off into your next races, is there anyone out there who you'd like to give a shout out to or thanks to during this strange time?
It'll just be my family, really. They're the ones that have got me through the real life racing. So my brother, my mum, my dad. They're just my main support, really.
Great to often we hear how family spirit pushes, none more so in your case as well with the racing. Seeing you throughout the rest of the series, and keeping in the Scottish 2 litre scene now as well. See if I can look out for you and see if when we get racing again, see if you're still winning in those all those wet races.
Yeah. Cheers.
Thanks very much for your time this evening, Cameron.
No worries.
So we had a few audio issues kicking over there a little bit, so I'll apologise for that. I think Dom, you were cutting in and out a little bit there while interviewing, so we'll see if we can get that sorted. So our 6 heats have been completed for this evening. As those of you who have watched the events before will know, this means now that we are going to be transitioning into the final B. So the top 20 point scoring drivers from the heats that we've had so far this evening get themselves straight into the final A, where there's big points on offer. The main carrot that is being dangled in front of people for final B is if you can get yourself out and get yourself on the top step of that podium, you will pick up the 21st starting position in that final A, so a chance to go out and pick up some big points. Now Sarah is our lady with the link to the admins, so I'm just wondering whether or not Sarah has any news for us on who we can expect to see in final B.
I have, yeah. I was just trying to get it ready to go into Facebook and then YouTube. So we have our B final. Our pole man is Aaron McGrath, who we've just been mentioning, and thanks to Dorothy for giving the information about his grass track number CW57. Alongside him will be the 148 car Johnny McCoy and Carl Waller Barrett 162. So surprising to see him in the B final tonight, but he is front of the grid, so that could be an interesting one. Michael Barber is another guy who's been one of our superstars. He's in the 296. He's going to be in the B final. And then we have Don Freeman, 61. Turner 447 will line up behind him. And 950 Wayne Woolsey. Then we have the first of our sort of foreign drivers as such. I hate calling them foreign drivers because we're all just one big oval family, aren't we? 193 Yannick Kalansky, followed up by 921 Sean Cooney. We then have Stuart 931 and Tim 89. Jordan Vovinkel in the 122 is followed by 323 Scotty. 959 is a very disgruntled Alan Christie from the previous heat who didn't enjoy his time out in the last heat there with Jonathan Vorster 73 and the South African boys behind. We then have Scotty 78 ahead of 294 Charlie 294 and Glenn Van Tonder, one of our new drivers for tonight, in 62. So that's great to see him in the B finals. With Cian O'Sullivan, that's surprised to see him in the B final as well in the 136. Luke Loveland, who's been a superstar driver this evening, is in the 220. And last of your B final grid is number 15 in the green car of Chris Crane.
Now I have to apologise for a mistake that obviously I made earlier on in the evening on the broadcast. Who was it? Peter Dreisen, by the looks of things, has corrected me in that Vowinkle is Dutch. I'm guessing that I actually included him in with the South African medley of drivers, so I was wrong for that. Dorothy mentioning Aaron pole for the B final. You are indeed correct, Dorothy. Yep, he is on pole for the B final, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do from there as Sarah pastes in the B final grid for those of you watching on Facebook, and no doubt that'll also follow on the YouTubes. Anyone got any picks for this, the B final? It's often an unpredictable one to try and gauge.
I think there are a few surprising names in there. There always is. Michael Barber, one of the top 10 in the championship. He'll be looking for a better night. And Kalansky was in there as well, from memory. Yeah, they'll be looking to definitely see if they can forge a way through. Yeah, it could be an interesting one. I've not got any specific pick for this one. It's a bit of a mixed bag. They've all been either really good or in an incident this evening. Carl Waller Barrett in there too. Yeah, it could be anyone's game really. But that world final, it's not world final. That this evening's final, the wild card, is only for that first place position. So it's going to be a lot at stake with this one.
So it looks like the guys are heading round and getting themselves just finalised position-wise. Sarah, quickly before we get started, any picks from you?
I'd like to see Waller Barrett come through. He's, he's always been there or thereabouts, but always been the bridesmaid and never quite the bride, or I suppose I should say the groomsman and never quite the groom, being a male. So yeah, it'd be nice to see him come through and get a B-win final and get himself into the A's.
So, at the front and in the centre of your screen at the moment, you can see Mr. Aaron McGrath, your pole sitter for the B final. Carl Waller Barrett sat just behind him on the inside as they go into the first corner. Also, another one who I think is going to be worth watching out is going to be both the outside cars. Let's see how they do. It sounds like the guys are getting ready to start. But Michael Barber in that blue Saxo is definitely going to be one to watch out for. He's always been quite consistent. See if he can come through and get himself up on the top steps of the podium as we hear the revs climb.
Off we go.
Away we go for the B final here at Cowdenbeath. Carl Waller Barrett back into 4th place already and into the wall, in fact. Aaron
McGrath
McGrath
got the whole shot in this B final, so he's
he's made
the lead with a 1 second, almost 1.5 second lead over Johnny McCoy.
Made a very clean start, and he's managing to hold on to it quite nicely in that green Tigra, having swapped out from the Corsa that he was racing earlier on in the series, that blue one. You definitely can't miss him now in the green Tigra. Doing very well to hold the guys off.
This top 3, line astern, they are going to be the cars to watch, no one else. Apologies for the rest of the field, but this is all about that top position, and well, it's going to be all about seeing if Aaron McGrath can defend off these other two in Johnny McCoy and Michael Barber.
Now this time,
Barber's just been having a look at McCoy, just been having a little look. Oh, and McCoy goes wide to let Barber through.
I think that might have been a touch of oversteer there, just snapped as he came out the corner. I don't think it was necessarily letting him through, but he didn't really have enough momentum to defend, and Barber just cruised round the outside.
So look at the guys as well who are now lining up behind Johnny McCoy. And when we look at some of those names, you've got Adam Turner, Wayne Woolsey, Yannick Kolansky.
Carnage ahead.
Alan Christie is off on the inside.
White Grades could be about to make
Donovan
a mess of this.
Vorster has gone round. Someone tagged into Aaron
Kolansky's
McGrath.
round.
Aaron McGrath did very well. He got tagged on that rear quarter there and done very well to hang on to that and keep himself in first place. Michael Barber seems to have got through it unscathed as well.
And the beneficiaries have been Turner 447 and Wayne Woolsey for that, really. A lot of guys had their races majorly disrupted then, didn't they?
Definitely. So we're looking back now from on board with Aaron McGrath. There is Michael Barber behind. You can see there's not much in between these guys. Michael Barber having a little look up the inside. We're giving Aaron a little nudge, just letting him know that he's there. As they come up
Great
on.
advert there for the Simpson race exhaust. I'm sure Matt Simpson will be happy with that one.
He'll be loving that. There you can see the slightly more experienced driver in Dom Freeman moving out the way to let the leaders through. And you can see it again as we come down a straight, and he's getting tagged a little bit into the corners there.
It's really tense stuff between these two. Obviously we have got the extra 10 laps this time, so this battle could go on for a little while, but Barber will have to make the move eventually if he is to win this race.
There's a great battle turning out for third place. It's really neck and neck between Turner 447, Wayne Woolsey and Yannick Kolansky there.
It is, but look at the gap that Turner has pulled up on Michael Barber in second place there. Look, that's literally the three of them line astern. This is definitely going to be a battle to watch, and I can see that if he manages to get himself past Michael Barber, then Aaron McGrath is going to have to be looking out in his rear view mirror for that rapidly approaching car of Turner, who's just nudging up the inside of Michael Barber as we speak.
The backmarkers could have a major influence here. I know the admins are giving them a warning to get out of the way.
Turner in the Corsa just having a little look up the inside of Barber. Backmarkers just slowing things
Barber
down.
having a look up
Barber's
the
going
inside of
for a move.
McGrath.
Oh, a little bit of contact, but he can't get it. He can't get the move done. He's got a little bit more to... He just needs to get that bit more momentum. Oh no!
And that's Alan Christie. Aaron McGrath.
Oh no! After all that. Oh, that is so disheartening. And Barber's going to benefit from this, of course. Will Turner be able to make a move now for the lead?
Watch as we pan back round to our leading drivers. That is so unfortunate for Aaron McGrath. He was doing so well under the pressure of these guys up behind him. And look, Wayne Wolsey is tucked nicely in there with that group as well. Wayne, I mean, undoubtedly, if you get any kind of slowdown with the guys in front and the back markers, it's anyone's race to try and gain. Look, Wayne pulling right up onto the back of Turner. Turner's right up on the back of Michael Barber. Lap 23. There's only a couple left to go. This is going to be a fight to the finish.
So Turner's having an admin warning just to keep it clean, or else he will lose his position. Was that Chris Crane in the wall just there? He's not had a great night tonight, bless him, has he?
So here we are. We're on board with Michael Barber. Lap 24. That's Johnny McCoy spinning out in the background. You watch Wayne Wolsey backs off a little bit. No, that's the I think that's the disabled car of Aaron McGrath that was in the wall there.
Just
Adam
saw a
Turner.
flash of green.
Yeah, Adam Turner right up on that rear bumper on the 25th lap.
They come round. It's going to be... Oh, it was a little wiggle, but it is Barber's win.
Barber takes the win in Final B. And that was hectic again. That was definitely an eventful challenge in the top three positions. Michael Barber coming out on top. And what a shame.
Well done.
What a shame for young Aaron McGrath.
I was going to say, well done to Michael Barber, but commiserations to Aaron McGrath. My heart sank through the floor when I saw that one. Just so frustrating for him, and you know how much he will wish he could just turn back time and just avoid that car. Alan Christie, I'm sure he meant it with no malice, but yeah, that is just the way the racing has gone tonight, and it's just so unfortunate for McGrath there.
Yeah, completely agree. I can't imagine that Alan Christie will have done that with any malice whatsoever. That will have literally just been him trying to get his car. I'd imagine, looking at what he was doing off the track onto the off the racing line of the track onto the infield to try and get out of the way of the other guys, and it was just unfortunately timed that it was just as Aaron McGrath and co were coming round. And I mean, you've got a 50-50 chance in that situation. You know, do you go to the inside? Do you go to the outside? And yeah, unfortunately, the two cars just came together there. But it meant that Michael Barber could take advantage, and then a very commanding drive under huge pressure from Adam Turner behind him. So let's take a look at the results for the Final B. Michael Barber, as we said, taking first place. Congratulations to him, with Adam Turner in second. Yannick Kalansky not doing too bad for himself and managing to pick up third in the end. Tim Close in fourth. Carl Waller-Barrett, who also got caught up in a bit of a skirmish, in fifth. Sean Cooney in sixth. Wayne Wolsey in seventh. Glenn Van Tonder in eighth. Johnny McCoy, who we saw spinning out at one point in time, managing to pick up ninth. And Jordan Vowinkle, the Dutchman. He's not a South African, he's a Dutchman, as I managed to mistakenly say earlier on, rounding out your top 10 from Final B. So Michael Barber picking up the 21st spot for Final A. Wow, the finals definitely aren't disappointing us in any event that we've had so far. We've had some real close racing. Any particular, other than possibly the unfortunate event that took out Aaron McGrath? Any events that really stood out for you in that final, Dom or Sarah?
Well, yeah, just commiserations to Aaron. He had such a good drive and was doing so well to defend. We saw Barber nearly go through a few laps previous, but just didn't have the momentum. Turner was also... that could have been a fantastic three-way battle, but sadly we had to lose one, and it was just disappointing that it was the race leader. I'm sure he'll be back, and I'm sure he'll be faster than ever next week at Northampton, but couldn't have ended worse for him.
Something that's become evidently apparent over these last, now sort of almost 5 weeks, as we're nearly to the end of this evening, is the shame, as with real life racing, getting caught up in somebody else's mistake. Hard luck to those that then get caught up in somebody else's shoes and lose a race or, lose a good spot or lose a drive. It's very apparent in simulated racing as it is in real life racing.
A lot of guys with support for Aaron, and obviously mentioning that it was unlucky that was the way that that things happened. Dorothy, understandably, bless her, she's not best
I
pleased
just
with
spotted that one as well.
and that is completely understandable. Unfortunately, that's just the way that racing does go sometimes. But it was a very commanding drive from the front there. So, Sarah, final A. I'm guessing you have some news on who we can expect to see out and racing in the last round for this evening, the final for this evening.
I do have some news, and it's a really interesting grid. So your pole man for tonight is 32, Ashley Shaw. Didn't see that one come in. 210, Ben Keneally is your second place man, followed by Cameron Willisey, who we've already spoken to this evening, a Scottish driver, 143. Had a great evening already with a first and a third. Let's see what he can do from third place on the grid. BDR 867 is your fourth place man, followed by Rapid Roy 36. Adam Cochrane in the 434 comes ahead of Niall McFerrin. Let's see what he can do from a third of the way back the grid. We've then got Jason Loosemore, the South African driver, so he's under Jason SA0, and early race winner from this evening, 84, Craig Durrant. We then have Charlie Aylward, the only Aylward of this evening, which we haven't mentioned so far, in the 46, and Sean Jacklin, number 11. We then have last week's B final winner, Derek Martin, who's going to be quite a way back from Noel McFerrin, who's usually the protagonist who he likes to race up against, but he's quite a way back this evening. And then I'm going to apologise. I know we've had a very, very lovely person mention how we pronounce the name. I'm going to try, is it Ian rather than Ewan Burke? I'm really sorry. I will keep trying. In the number 12 anyway, or his name is number 12. He's in the 656 for his racing number. We then have David Ryan 30 and Ryan Woolsey 940. 102 Ricky Slater, one of our superstars of the evening, who's already got some good results, and 961 Barry Casey. Simon 998. Then 12, Jordan Larson, another of our South African guys, I believe. And last but not least, Johnny Hammond, number 50. So we do at least have two Wolsey grandsons on this grid for final A.
So you can see the guys making their way round and lining up. You cannot miss Ashley Shaw there, sitting up at the front in that bright orange 32 car. But look at some of the guys that he's surrounded by. It's his first time that I've seen him that high up the grid, especially going into an A final. And look, that's Ben Keneally, who's sat alongside him, who's also proven himself very strong. Cameron Willisey tucked in behind him, and Tommy Daly. So that's going to be all of these guys have won events so far this evening. That's going to be a very strong leading pack to watch as they pull away from the line. Guys, any picks for who you think is going to make a big impact in this final?
I would have to say it's Willisey, based on the fact that he is in a prime position. He's got the inside line in that front pack. He is obviously making huge strides in the championship, and McFerrin's a little bit behind him. He's obviously got experience racing with him before. I think he will be the pick for the win, but I have to give massive plaudits to Jason Loosemore, and hopefully he can have another good race here. He's had two top 6 finishes in the heats. Let's see what he can do here.
So Sarah, as they start revving, anyone that you want to shout out for?
Yeah, you got to put your money on Cameron Willisey, third place. Let's hope you haven't put the commentator's curse on him. And they are ready to roll.
Look at that, straight off the start. You couldn't have called that much better. Ben Keneally's doing well to keep himself out in front. A little bit of a nudge from Cameron Willisey, but look at that. That's why Sarah and Dom both shouted him out as someone to really look out for. It's going to take something pretty special to catch him now, surely.
It was just
Yeah.
the launch. That was just, it was lightning. The reaction times were so quick. You saw the other cars around him move, but he just weren't on point with his speed off the line.
Just
Look
gave
at-
a little love tap to Keneally, didn't he? Just to show he was there, and then through he went.
And that's it, look at that, he's already pulling out, we're already looking at what, a 1.5 gap to the guys behind him, and he's catching Ryan Woolsey. Now, this will be interesting. I'm intrigued to see whether or not the backmarkers are going to play as big a role this time round as they have before. You've got a lot of experienced drivers who should, in theory, get out the way of the leading pack.
Keneally, Ashley Shaw and McFerrin all very close. You've got Loosemore and Adam Cochran up there as well. This
I mean,
is
look
looking
at
like
this.
A tasty battle.
Yeah, Linus Stern, this is looking back from on board with Ben Keneally. That's Ashley Shaw, then behind him you've got Niall McFerrin. Adam Cochran as well is also tucked in with that group, and Tommy Daly. Look at that, that's Derek Martin that's catching up with the back of this group as well. This is going to be exciting as the race comes to an end.
McFerrin has made a little bit of progress there. Ashley Shaw just sinking down as he is overtaken by Cochran as well. Here comes McFerrin, he's looking at Keneally.
Cochran's definitely not hanging about. He's trying to make a move forward as well. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Noel McFerrin gives himself a car length breathing space, and I'd guess to say Ben Keneally is definitely holding Noel McFerrin up.
I think it's less McFerrin being held up. I think it's more McFerrin having to defend because Cochran is not letting him go. They're all looking very racy.
And he's not. And that white car that we see there, just as I said, in the final, that is someone who's spun but still managed to get themselves out the way of the leading guys as they go round. And you can see the difference when you actually look at how the pack is running and just how much everyone's running nose to tail at the moment.
Yes, it's a great drive. Probably one of the best races of the evening so far, she says, as they then get a bit bashed up.
Going to
Not
be an
sure
interesting one to watch, that's for sure.
Oh, I think that's one of the cars around.
That's Tommy Daly. Tommy Daly has gone round there.
McFerrin got through, and so did Cochran. Keneally is in fourth, and Shaw is
He's
in
gone
fifth.
round again. Yeah, Keneally's lost again. He's gone round again.
So Cameron Willisey, you see that blue car there? Look, he's just passed over the start-finish line now. You've got Niall McFerrin now up to second, and just look at the gap between these guys. So coming into the corner, there's Cameron Willisey, there's Niall McFerrin, and there's 3 backmarker cars in between them as well. It's going to be an interesting one to see what happens here. It looks like Ashley Shaw's going backwards. Unfortunately, he just slid out into the wall there.
Yeah, looks like we've just lost Ryan Woolsey as well. He looked like he was on the infield behind the goal there, and then seemed to disappear from our timing screens.
Derek Martin making a move on Ben Keneally. He's got himself up to 4th place already, Derek Martin. He's doing very well for himself.
Don't think there was much Keneally could do in regards to defending that one. Martin was coming through, no shadow of a doubt. Cochran's still doing very well. He's following McFerrin through the traffic, but I don't know whether he'll be able to ride up to the back of McFerrin and challenge for second.
5 laps out, and have a look at this. Niall McFerrin has still got 2 back markers to pass. He's got the white car in front of him. He's then got Roy Anderson, and then another white top as well by the looks of things, before he even gets sight of Cameron Willisey, who it looks like has just gone up the inside of I can't even see who that was that he just went up the inside of, but he's literally cutting through this traffic like a hot knife through butter.
Cammy is flying, isn't he? Absolutely flying. He's already proven in previous weeks, he was one to watch. A bit later on to the series than others, but certainly proved he is one to watch, and he's making his mark on this championship.
I mean, look at this. We're riding on board with him now. He's just passing cars like they're not even there. And look at that clear track he's got in front of him now. He might as well be just hot lapping.
Wheel there. I don't know whose
right
that was.
wheel.
Stray one, which is just causing a little bit of frustration for some of the drivers. That might be our answer. It was a white grader. But as we come on to the last lap, this is
That's
our
Ben
last lap
Keneally
of
round the wrong
racing.
way there.
McFerrin nowhere near, a 1.5 seconds off. There it goes, Cameron Willisey. That is a win for him. There is McFerrin. Did close up a bit in the end. Cochran will come third. Derek Martin in fourth. and as they race through, pick up the rest of the positions. Ricky Slater managing to get through, as well as Charlie Aylward and Sean Jacklin. Craig Durrant in the Mini. We had a few of the top lot fall down there. No Ashley Shaw in that top 10, but things I think we might have missed lower down.
I think the happiest man of tonight is probably going to be Craig Durrant, to be honest with you. Can't recall he's been in an A final, and to come 8th, I think that's a pretty solid performance.
I would guess so. If you look at the right-hand side of the screen, other than the fact that he just got piled into by one of the other cars coming round, Craig Durrant was doing donuts up there, so quite rightfully so. He's got himself a victory this evening, and he's pulled out 8th place in the A final. And as we look here, Cameron Willisey with donuts, Adam Cochran with donuts. Saw a little love tap between Cameron Willisey and Niall McFerrin, as they alluded to in the interview earlier on. These guys have been racing together for quite some time. There we are, look, Charlie Aylward getting in at the bottom of the screen as well. They all want to get in on the action.
I love these celebrations, and I love the fact it actually leaves tyre marks on the simulated track. I just think that's brilliant. I don't think that the ground manager's going to be too happy about the grass getting ruined, though.
He's going to be even less happy when he sees where Tads and I have parked our cars right outside of the centre circle on the football track in the middle. But,
oh dear, you're in trouble. I think you're going to be out with your white paint tomorrow morning, guys.
Definitely. So there he is.
I was just looking at the World Championship above us. Cameron Willisey there in 8th, 67 points. Yeah, he's got a long way to go to catch up with the top guys, but he's already made so many strides today, and through the previous meetings, it has to be said that it will not be long before he is challenging for that championship. It was McFerrin leading by 20 points from Derek Martin as we went into today, but well, who knows what it will look like in a couple of rounds' time if Willisey keeps this form up.
So there we go. A lot of the guys from the B final coming in and supporting their fellow drivers on Facebook. Aaron McGrath there, I can see him congratulating Cameron and Craig on how they did, and yeah, definitely it's been an interesting one this evening. That's I think probably the best way for me to describe it. Guys, come on, give me your favourite moment of the night.
It's got to be that Heat 2, isn't it? With Cameron coming through to take the win by 0.3 seconds. As exciting or as good as that final race was, when he got to grips with it, it's got to be that Heat 2 win. I'm sure if we'll watch it back, there was plenty of crashes, but that was definitely him making his mark and showing that he's going to be the boss and the one to watch going forwards.
Definitely.
There was so much drama in that race. I would have to say that is one of my picks of the night as well. Yeah, that and the two finals, again, always delivering in previous meetings. They didn't disappoint tonight either. Some pretty close racing there. The three-way fight for the lead, which got cut short, sadly, in the B final. And then with the A final, we just had, although it was a run away from Cameron, we had some good racing in the mid-pack. And obviously trying to get those podium positions as well, with McFerrin coming second. And I think it was Cochrane in third. I might have missed Martin, but haven't got the final results in front of me, sadly.
So that's round number 5 of the Online Oval Racing National Hot Rod Series complete for tonight. I think it's been another good night's racing. It's been a shame of how many of the results have been affected by crashes and things lower down, but unfortunately that's just part of racing sometimes. And as Cameron mentioned, this is not a particularly well-liked track on this game, just because of the sheer lack of runoff and obviously how unforgiving it is if anything does go wrong in front of you. But it's been amazing once again being here and being able to share this experience with Dom and Sarah, and it's always a pleasure spending my Thursday nights with you two, even though it is only over a microphone and screens, as we're not all sat in the same box given social distancing, etc. Not to mention different locations. Yeah, roll on round 6.
Don't sat on there.
So our next round will be at Northampton. Just to say some of our Facebook comments, obviously we had many congratulations. Well done 9-10. So looks like from the McFerrin family, plenty of people saying well done Cameron, with some lovely Scottish flags there. So yeah, thanks for your support as ever. Everyone commenting on YouTube. YouTube, we could do some more comments. Need some more comments to interact. I've been looking and there's not much been going on there, but obviously we appreciate the support that you're all giving to us. And we look forward to you joining in again next week. And as we say, Northampton, my county town. I'm a Northamptonshire girl. I love Northampton as a track because I usually see my family when we go to real life racing there. So I can't wait for that one. And the chicken nuggets and chips are good there. So if somebody can supply me those whilst I'm sat at the computer screen in Suffolk, that would be great.
So, guys, as Sarah very well mentioned, we are live every Thursday evening. We're live on Facebook, and the interaction from you guys has been fantastic. We're live on the YouTube, so you've just got to search for Online Oval Racing and you will find us. And we are also live streaming with Dom and his compatriots over at Speedworth TV. They've been absolutely fantastic in supporting us with this enterprise to try and keep you guys entertained while we are all stuck in lockdown. And even if you're not watching the live streaming events, definitely make sure to go and check those guys out. You'll be able to more than adequately get your fix of racing action through the guys at Speedworth. Dom, I'll let you have the final say for this evening and take us out of round number 5 from Cowdenbeath.
Well, it wasn't what we all expected. I think the chaos certainly wasn't on the agenda, but oh hum, that is racing. Yeah, some surprises, some good performances from those who have had tough times before. Well done to people like Aaron McGrath and Craig Durrant. Obviously, the plaudits have to go to the main 2 drivers this evening, and it is Cameron Willisey, who also I need to thank for offering to be interviewed, and Noel McFerrin, always up there, always looking towards the front. I think he will once again be extending his championship lead over Derek Martin, but I'm sure that sooner or later Willisey will be snapping at his heels. Yeah, thank you to everyone who's tuned in on all the platforms on Speedworth TV and YouTube, Facebook. Looking forward to Northampton. We're not racing on the shale, we are racing on a tarmac version. So yeah, it's one that, as you heard earlier, Willisey is a fan of. So I reckon it will be more of the same, but who knows? Anything can happen in racing.
Sorry to interject. I know you were supposedly having the final word, Don, but I am a woman when all said and done. Just to remind you, Sunday 2 till 4 is our family racing. So for any of those children or partners of our racers, be lovely to have you join in with us on Sunday 2 till 4 for your opportunity to get on track and have a little go around Northampton this week. The Northampton track will be going live in the next sort of hour or so. Live now, so the admins tell me, for anyone to go in. Obviously, if you're not already registered, onlineoverracing.co.uk is where you need to go and register as a driver, and then get onto the server. All the details are on there, how to get involved, and even if you can't get your booking, we'd still love to see you come and join us and just practice and give some of our guys who are practicing somebody else to challenge against midweek.
So, everyone, thank you hugely for watching us and joining us this evening. And on behalf of myself, Sarah, and Dom, I hope you stay happy. I hope you stay healthy. And we all look forward to seeing you in 1 week's time.
Walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for